record. And good morning, Jeremy. How are you?
Good morning, Steve. I'm very well, thank you. Although it's late afternoon here in Oxford in the UK.
So let me introduce us and ourselves and talk about what we're doing here. This is our intro video to a very exciting thing that I guess we'll call a course. I'm Steve Schneider. I'm a professor at the SUNY Polytechnic Institute in Utica, New York. And you are?
And I'm Jeremy Ruston.
Oh no, we've cut out. I've lost your audio, which is going to be yeah.
No.
Try again.
I could hear myself.
Yes.
I'm Jeremy Ruston, the inventor of a software project, an open source software project called TiddlyWiki, which captured Steve's interest, I think, 10 years ago. No.
10 years ago, you're right. We're going to get this. I'll have to figure out I think this is my connection, not Jeremy's, but I think we're okay. Jeremy invented TiddlyWiki and I use it. Let's put it that way.
Exactly that. And it's what we can see on the screen here in front of us.
And so at the end of this video, we'll give you a link to this TiddlyWiki. And basically what we want to do here in about 10 minutes is do a brief introduction to the course. And this is a course that we are calling Designing and Writing Interactive Texts. And we explore this concept of hypertextuality, and we use TiddlyWiki as a tool both to create hypertext and to understand it. And so that's kind of in a nutshell what we hope to accomplish. And we'll end up in a minute or two talking about what's next. Okay, so this is, first of all, we should say an experiment, and it's a dynamic experiment that we create as we go along, and very much we hope to be responsive to the members of the learning community. The other thing that you'll notice, Jeremy sits in Oxford or Cambridge?
Oxford.
Oxford in the UK, and I sit somewhere in the US most times, often upstate New York. And we hope to have participants from various places. So we'll always be dealing with time zones and issues like that. And of course, we record this on the internet. And so as you've seen already, we will have issues with lag and dropping signals, but we will power through and it will work. And so mostly what I want to create with Jeremy and with all the participants is something that we'll call a learning community. And so I'll briefly mention that there will be participants from an undergraduate course at SUNY Poly called COM 375. There will be participants from a graduate course at SUNY Poly, IDT, Information Design and Technology 590. And there will be participants in an open course that is called TiddlyWiki is Hypertext. And we're calling that I've given it this weird little name, a SOOC, because I don't think we'll have many participants. So we'll call it small, but it is open, it's online, and it's a course. So it becomes a SOOC instead of a MOOC or SPOC, but we'll continue from that. So everybody in the SOOC, and of course all of the students registered for credit, will review course materials. You can watch videos. This is the first of them. You can do the exercises, and you can read the discussion group. And if you register, which I can't tell you how you will do yet, but soon we will know, you can join these live online presentations, which will be Wednesdays at 10 o'clock New York time, or you can click convert to time zone for wherever you happen to be. So Jeremy, I think you're going to be in, this is afternoon for you, right? Is it 3 o'clock there now? Whatever, we will figure it out.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. That's so. Yeah, I'll have to.
6 hours difference. Yes, of course, that's right.
Okay, and we'll have to. And you'll be able to join the discussion group as well. So that's very quickly how it's going to work. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about these ideas of hypertextuality. So Jeremy, when you invented TiddlyWiki, first of all, why'd you name it that? And how many times have you been asked that question?
I think it was, in a way, a moment of madness, because it's a ludicrous name for a software project, and lots of people have trouble getting over the name. And as it happens, in England, the word tiddler and tiddly aren't very remarkable. They're slightly childish words that can mean small, like a fish, or drunk, like intoxicated, which is so all I was thinking when I wrote the code was that I needed a word that would represent the smallest item of information that I was dealing with, and I wanted to emphasize that it was small. And so for me, where I came from, the word tiddly was, if not a natural choice, it was a fairly clear choice. But as it's turned out, it's only English speakers who think it's a terrible name. And through working on TiddlyWiki, I've realized that actually the majority of people that I get to work with in the world, English is not their first language. And so looking at it more broadly, what's needed is to have a distinctive name which is easy to Google. And TiddlyWiki gets that because, of course, there's nothing else called.
True. I must say, Siri has trouble with the word TiddlyWiki.
Yes, yes.
At any rate, so just because you're all using TiddlyWiki now, those of you who are viewing it, you're probably, what are we talking about? But get over it and get on board, and you'll be fine with it. And so then, when you were thinking about, when you wrote TiddlyWiki, was hypertext in your mind?
I think hypertext by that point was so intricately woven into my mind that it was a part of everything that I was doing. So yes, TiddlyWiki was absolutely explicitly involved going down paths of exploring aspects of hypertext, and I think some small but novel aspects at that. But the driver for it, the motivation, wasn't that I wanted to explore wikis or hypertext. It was that I wanted to be able to write on the web. So actually, I wanted to be able to participate in the same blogosphere, as it was called at the time, as bloggers. But I rejected the idea of writing as a reverse chronological series of thoughts, although I recognize that's optimum for the writer, and I guess it's optimal for a reader who's keeping up. It's not really an optimal way to communicate your mind state to another person, because it's kind of like a transcript of what happens to you.
Right.
And if I've learned anything, it's that
come back. So Jeremy will.
Transcripts aren't. I think they're going to tell you. You know it.
Yeah.
So, did you lose me through too?
Yeah, just for a brief moment. But so thanks for that brief introduction to where Tiddly comes from and how it's interwoven into hypertext. And you'll notice that the course is called Designing and Writing Interactive Texts. I'm not really fond of that name either, but haven't come up with a better one yet. Mostly it's because my colleagues at SUNY Poly thought a course called hypertext wouldn't attract any students because that word seems to have not much meaning for people either. So the idea of designing, to me, is important because people create things, and I want that word, that emphasis on writing. I think, as Jeremy just said, I don't think that was in the part that cut out. It's about people who write. And you'll see that we'll also talk a lot about reading because we write for readers. And we'll also talk about thinking as we get on into the course. So what we're going to do in this class over the next 14 weeks, we'll spend next week introducing you to the software and getting you started. And then there'll be a series of 7 talks with these titles here. We're all hypertextual and the origins of hypertext, the golden age, ubiquitous, universal, and then we'll end up with 2 talks at the end. TiddlyWiki is an instantiation of hypertext. And then this word that I don't know that I've made up, but I do use it a lot now, TiddlyWikification. Wikification is actually a word that's out there, but TiddlyWikification is the specific instance of using one platform to accomplish these goals. And I do want to say this is not meant to be a course that's pushing a particular platform. It's not that TiddlyWiki is the answer to everything hypertextual. I have found it in my experience, it's the purest and easiest form or platform to really understand the concepts of hypertext. Whether you could actually use it in a large-scale production environment, we'll leave up to you. And I don't want to suggest that this is the only tool that you can use. I've chosen it as a tool for this course because I find it's the easiest thing to get people who are interested in it to use it quickly without learning a lot of code. It's basically markup, couple of brackets and angles and angle braces, and you can make amazing things very quickly. And so that's what we'll work on. We'll work on a series of talks. We're going to record them like this. On Wednesday mornings, you're welcome to join the live sessions, and then they'll be posted on the net by the end of the day, Wednesday. And to get you started, there's a video you can watch. I haven't looked at it lately. I don't know how updated it is, but it's out there. We'll talk about different platforms. Right now, we're talking about Dropbox. There's alternatives, GitHub, for those of you who are more inclined to a more technical solution. We do suggest you use Firefox as a browser and the associated TiddlyWiki extension in order to save things. We will suggest you use Google Sheets. We're going to do some exercises that require Google Sheets. Of course, you'll need TiddlyWiki. If you want to watch the videos live and join in the group, you'll need to get affiliated with Zoom. And if you decide to put images into your wiki, we'll talk about different ways, one of which is Zoom. One of which is Jing. And that's about it. We'll have a series of exercises. Right now, the ones that are basic have been created. The others have not been imagined yet. But they will be in the next week or two as you'll catch up to me. And this will be hopefully great fun and hopefully great interest. Very interesting. What you're looking at now is a wiki that's called THWT, which I think rivals TiddlyWiki for a difficult word. But it really explores 4 words: the notion of a text, what hyper means, what a wiki is, and finally what Tiddly is. And this in itself is an experiment. It's both a textbook, it's a courseware platform, it's a series of exercises, it's a primer, and ultimately it's a mashup that's built on the TiddlyWiki.com site, which is the best documentation for TiddlyWiki. So we just wanted to introduce ourselves, put ourselves and our faces in front of you, welcome you to the course. And Jeremy, I understand you're headed off to holidays, you call it, or vacation, as I might say.
Indeed. My vocation is to go on vacation. So I'll be away for the next 2 weeks, but looking forward to coming back to hopefully some activity, you'll have got things established a little.
Yeah, and so you will be with us on, I think it's, in fact, I can't remember the date. I think it's January 27th.
I think it's January the 27th.
And I will see you then.
Steve, thank you very much. It's been great fun, and I'll look forward to joining up once we're up and running. Cheers.
Excellent. Okay, so I will see you when you get back, and have an excellent holiday.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.